This is a story of a young man's journey towards the light of Islam, enduring hardships, sacrifices, and trials. It teaches us about faith, patience, and trusting in Allah. In the scorching heat of Makkah, a young boy stood beside his father in the marketplace. His name was Zaid bin Aamir. His family belonged to the noble Quraysh tribe, enjoying wealth, status, and power. But despite having everything, Zaid always felt a strange emptiness in his heart. He often wondered how lifeless idols, carved by human hands, could hold any divine power. Could these really be gods? He watched as his father and other Quraysh elders crafted wooden and stone idols, placed them around the Kaaba, and then bowed before them. To Zaid, it all seemed strange. One day, he gathered the courage to ask his father, "Father, if these idols are truly gods, why don't they respond to us?" His father's face darkened with anger. "This is the religion of our ancestors, and we will never abandon it," he declared. Zaid fell silent, but the questions in his heart refused to fade. He longed to know the truth. A few days later, he overheard a peculiar conversation. In the bustling marketplace, a group of men whispered about a man in Makkah who had declared that Allah is one and that only He should be worshipped. The words sent a chill down Zaid's spine. Who was this man who dared to challenge the traditions of Quraysh? Zaid turned to his friend Ammar and asked, "Who is this person that people are talking about?" Ammar leaned in and whispered, "His name is Muhammad ibn Abdullah. He says we should worship only one God and that our idols are powerless." The Quraysh leaders are furious because if people believe him, our ancestral religion will be lost. Zaid's curiosity intensified. Could this man be speaking the truth? Could this be the answer he had been seeking all his life? A few days later, Zaid decided to secretly visit Dar al-Arqam, the hidden place where Prophet Muhammad superscripto and his followers gathered. Sneaking through the dimly lit streets, he finally reached the door and listened intently. Inside, a voice recited, "Say, He is Allah, the One. Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent." The words sent shivers down Zaid's spine. They were simple yet profound. He gathered his courage, knocked on the door, and entered. The Prophet superscripto greeted him with a warm smile. "Why have you come, my son?" The Prophet superscripto asked gently. "I am searching for the truth," Zaid replied. "Tell me, who is Allah, and why should we worship Him alone?" The Prophet superscripto said, "Allah is the creator of the heavens and the earth. He sees and hears everything. He provides for us, gives life and takes it away. The idols we carve cannot see, hear, or benefit us in any way." Zaid's heart filled with a newfound light. It felt as if this was the truth he had been searching for all along. "Can I accept Islam?" he asked eagerly. The Prophet superscripto smiled and said, "Indeed, the doors of truth are always open for those who seek it." Zaid recited the Shahada, "There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is His messenger." But Zaid had no idea that his decision would turn his life into a battlefield of trials. When his father learned that Zaid had embraced Islam, his fury knew no bounds. "Have you abandoned the religion of your ancestors?" he roared. "Father, I have found the truth," Zaid replied calmly. "These idols are powerless. Only Allah is our creator and sustainer." But his father refused to listen. That very night, Zaid was cast out of his home, left alone in the cruel streets of Makkah. The Quraysh leaders ordered his punishment. Zaid was beaten, deprived of food and water, yet he held firm to his faith. Whenever the pain became unbearable, he would remember the Prophet superscripto's words, "Indeed, with hardship comes ease." Finally, when the Prophet superscripto allowed his followers to migrate, Zaid joined them in their journey to Medina. There, The Muslims found peace, but their trials were far from over. When the Battle of Badr approached, Zayd stood among the ranks of the Muslim army. He gripped his sword tightly, but fear crept into his heart. The Quraysh army was 3 times larger, and the Muslims were few. The Prophet Idris middle dot superscripto reassured them, Allah's help is with us. Whoever places his trust in Allah is never alone. Zayd felt his courage surge. He fought bravely, and by Allah's grace, the Muslims achieved a remarkable victory. He now knew, without a doubt, that he had chosen the right path. Years later, when the Prophet Idris middle dot superscripto and his companions marched into Makkah as victors, Zayd's eyes filled with tears. These were the very streets where he had been tortured, but today, he walked upon them with his head held high. Then, he saw his aging father standing at the doorway, watching in disbelief. "Father," Zayd said gently, "did I not tell you that this was the truth?" His father's eyes welled up with tears. "My son," he said softly, "tell me more about your prophet." That day, Zayd shared the truth he had embraced long ago, and his father finally opened his heart to Islam. This was a journey from darkness to light, from doubt to certainty. Zayd had endured hardships, made sacrifices, and faced rejection, but in the end, Allah had granted him success. Lesson: the path of Islam is not always easy, but for those who sincerely seek the truth, Allah never abandons them. Faith, patience, and perseverance are the keys to ultimate success.